Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday, and welcome into Zelda Speedruns. Today, we've got the Skyward Sword Randomizer weekly race. Tracking today is Cube David, and here with me in commentary is Firework Spinner. How are you, Firework?
Doing okay, and yourself, Golden?
I'm good. It's a busy Sunday, busy weekend, but excited to get some Skyward Sword in. Yeah, if you want to guess our two dungeons, go for it. If you do exclamation bet, we're not going to get that. But so the settings today, we can talk about this. It is the Remlets tournament settings, which we are in the middle of qualifiers for. We've done, what is it? Two
live qualifiers. Yep.
Yeah.
This one is not a qualifier race. It's important to make that distinction. This is just our standard weekly. This is not counting for qualifiers. So it's just for fun, and definitely plan to have some fun.
Yeah, if you're interested, we've got the I pinned the link to the tournament info. We have 4 live qualifiers and 2 async qualifiers left. So still plenty of time if you're interested to join. It is a tournament, a beginner focused tournament. And
so if you like what you see here on ZSR, and you feel like, hey, I kind of like to do that, now is the best time to do it.
Yeah, and we are getting the runners underway, so we will get to see pretty quickly what our dungeons are.
Yeah, important things to know about these settings. We only have 2 dungeons. A lot of the more lengthy checks have been cut out, like scrap requests, fetch quest items, trial items. So there's definitely a much condensed version. So we can definitely see some interesting combinations with the limited settings.
Yeah, and there are a lot of overworld items to get as well. So these seeds do tend to end up as close to full clear.
Okay, Mind of Moldarak and Boko to G2. Oh no.
Upper Skyloft dead. Wow.
That's not a common hint.
Was that stream is still buffering. Let me
Sword and Mind, Triforce and Boko base.
I will refresh the streams for you all. See if that helps.
We have an LMF Fire Sanctuary seed, which is the 2 longest dungeons.
Yeah, and Upper Skyloft Baron is very interesting. Hopefully, it looks like you all should have stuff.
It looks like
you all should be able to see.
Yeah,
Upper Skyloft means we're going to see a very short first Skyloft here from our runners.
Yeah, Upper Skyloft, that's like 6 checks just dead right there.
Yeah, it looked like I saw LMF boss key chest is junk, which is nice. I didn't see all of the item hints. Interesting too, we got hinted both a path and a required item in Mines and Boko base. Yeah, that's an issue on Sludgeon's end. We are not going to be able to fix that. That's coming on their Twitch.
Yeah, looks like something's wrong with like the red of the RGB.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes with HDMI connections from a Wii or Wii U.
We'll just say it's an aesthetic art choice, and Sun just has a very special texture pack on today.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about these hints.
Ooh, that's a nice move. Doing the jump to Waterfall Cave on Space's end.
Yeah, I am not very good at that jump, so I just tend to go forward through Waterfall Cave. But also, I tend to like getting getting some money early on. So I don't mind getting those 2 junk, or at least 1 junk chest in Waterfall Cave. I think we're gonna see a double Elden start here.
Ooh, looks like a Space Rock's possibly setting up a Bitmagic file on the Waterfall Cave statue. Not too often do you see that play.
Yeah. I'm looking at these hints and trying to think through them, and this is interesting because Linear Mines to Moldarak. It's probably our Gust Bellows. Boko Base to Girahim 2 could
I
be
would
a lot of
love
different things.
to see bottle locked bottles with a bottle in Boko Base.
Yeah, I mean, the first check in Boko Base is a Sphere 0 check. You can get it for free. If that's something like a beetle or a bow or could be mitts, like that can be anything. If that item's junk, we're probably looking at earrings, claw shots, maybe a bomb bag. I wouldn't hate a linear start on this seed.
I mean,
only because of that path.
I honestly probably would look down upon a linear start because you can only do half the checks and mines logically.
Actually you can only do 1.
Technically, only 1 logically. Another one is somewhat accessible out of logic with break sliding, but then you just have 2 that are just a hard log, unless you do back in time or something.
That's fair. I guess I wouldn't mind just going in and dousing.
Yeah, dowsing maybe.
Like I wouldn't.
Oh hey, nice vanilla heart piece on the chandelier.
Yeah, I saw one of the spiral charge rocks pinged. So, yeah, I mean, I think that the reason it's interesting to go to mines is if, depending on where the item is, it could be a hook beetle or something weird like that. It's probably Gust Bellows.
Oh, and speaking of beetles, there's our first beetle.
That is a very convenient location because that'll allow Space Rock to get 2 more checks here in Elden.
Yeah, and I did not see what that was.
Looked like junk.
Yeah, that is the same place as the last qual. Funnily enough, for the beetle. Okay, we do have Ping and Boko Base, as to be expected. At least 2.
1 or 2 of those is near Earth Temple.
And Slingshot, which I don't think can be our path, because that's not our first logical projectile.
No, definitely not. Yeah, so what that means is we're either going to find claw shots or probably fire shield earrings, maybe bomb bag in Boko Base.
I'm sorry, I can't help but just admire like Sledgen's color scheme in Elden, where there's no red. It just looks like almost like a toxic wasteland, and I kind of like it.
It is very interesting. Yeah, I've had like kind of the opposite where I've had extra red, so it looks like pink or purple. I think this is just because Elden is very red.
Attempting a very precise bomb throw here.
Yeah, he's practiced this. I know, but Robo Jumper making the valid point that we didn't think about, because this is relatively new to logic. That Slingshot could actually be a path item to climb Elden Volcano here.
But wouldn't that assume that all other bows or slingshots are locked behind this one single logical instance of slingshot?
That is correct, yeah.
So that'd be very unlikely, but
I mean, I have seen it happen.
Okay, we got spiral charge.
Like it's not totally abnormal to happen. And that's I will say that is a relatively recent change in the logic. I want to say like October, November
Yeah.
of last year.
I mean, to be fair, it also is one of the most forgettable parts of logic.
Yeah, most of our racers are going to know how to climb without being able to kill the bokoblins to climb the volcano. But yes, it is in logic. I feel like I usually remember that when someone climbs the volcano without one of those items. And I mention, oh, these are out of logic.
And it looks like Sprout Charts is the only thing useful in Magma Turf.
Yeah. Okay, now I really think it would be a good idea to go take a peek at what's in mines. No, J-Dude. Going backwards with bombs is not in logic. Because that is a fairly precise bomb throw.
Yeah, that is definitely considered to be a trick.
Yeah. Any kind of weird bomb timing shenanigans are going to be something that's not in logic. Yeah, Jaznix, this is something on his end. If you go to his Twitch stream, you'll see it as well. There's nothing we can really do. But seems like there's something up with the RGB connectors, so...
We're just appreciating the artistic style choice here.
Yeah.
Although I hope for Sledge's sake he is not someone like me that plays through the OBS preview. Because that would not be fun.
Yeah, I do play through the OBS preview and I usually notice it, but sometimes you just don't have time to fix it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, having this weird coloration is not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah. As I said, I also kind of like it. It's kind of growing on me.
I feel like you're not. You're not in an hour, but...
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, sorry, we should totally play in black and white. Have fun discerning what kind of rupees are in Beetle's shop.
I mean, he does tell you.
True. But how often do you actually read it?
Yeah. That is quite an early Ballad of the Goddess.
That is.
I feel like our runners are not going to go there, though, till they get some more swords.
Yeah. Thunderhead is really hard to justify when you haven't found any swords yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Space
we're
Rock
going
is going to Farron. I mean, there is more that he can do there.
We got Fire Shield earrings on Beetle.
Yeah, so that is telling me Bokoblin base at this point is either going to have claw shots or a bomb bag.
Or our hook beetle that locks the other beetles.
Yeah, that could be as well.
Fun fact, almost every item has a vanilla location in Boko Base.
Yeah, I mean everything but Mitt. I mean even Mitts do.
Yep.
Bugnet does not.
Bugnet could be in like one of the chests in Summit, because like the last chest is like a all-encompassing the rest of your stuff.
That's fair.
By the way, I feel like anything vanilla in Boko Base would be terrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Sledgen is doing an early Betrow check here. He can get 2 of the 4 check items here. So Betrow 5 and 10 are junk in these settings. And given what he's got left to check, this is probably the smart play. Just because he can get 2 quick items. But we'll have to see if we've got anything useful.
Yeah. We have to go through at least two junk items because ooh, gratitude crystals, very nice. We do have to sit through at least two junk items just because of the settings that we use. We have made it so Betroth 5 and Betroth 10 are junk, and our runners start off with 20 gratitude crystals. Just to make sure that the check density remains the same, but it filters out a lot of the junk that can be in the pools.
Yeah, it's basically just removes 4 gratitude crystals from the pool. Yeah, in Space Rock, this is now the second silver ruby he's picking up. Since we have not seen Beetle shop yet, I don't think.
Not on Spaces on nope.
We did see it from Sledgen, but if I remember, there's nothing on. Oh, we saw the earrings on 50.
Yeah, we had the earrings on 50.
And nothing else. But yeah, money potentially might be necessary. All right, is Sledgen going? He's going to check the Spiral Charge Rock.
And we have even more gratitude crystals.
I'm starting to think there's going to be something useful on Betroth 50. This is like a suspicious amount of gratitude crystals early.
I mean, either 50 or even 40 for that matter could be something.
Or it could just be that there's gratitude crystals on 30 and he's junk.
Yeah, that is also very true.
We
do like our gratitude crystal Baron blockers.
Yeah, I get why they're going to Farron. Farron has more checks you can get right now. I think if I were racing this seed, I would have been to Mines after Eldon.
I feel like our runners are really hoping to either get claw shots or bombs or hook beetle before going to Mines.
Or even a bottle.
Yeah. Even a bottle to actually put it in logic.
Yeah. I just have this feeling that Mines path could be something, like with how little we've had early on, it feels like that Mines path could be something very important. I think Space Rock might be checking.
One thing I can really think of would be like digging mitts for Bellows and Eldon or something.
Yeah, I mean it could be a very weird.
Or bombs for Bellows somewhere in Lanayru.
Yeah, because bombs can't be path for the boss key. Because we did get a hint that the boss key is junk. And Space Rock is gonna save Scum here.
That is a smart play when you have limited funds.
Yeah.
He is going to want to get those earrings though, either way.
I feel like maybe he's gonna get the hundreds first because the earrings right now don't open anything.
True. That's very true.
Like if I were trying to peak items, I would get both of the hundreds. Because right now you don't have access to Volcano Summit in any form, whether through Boko Base or regularly. Oh, and Sledgen is going to peak this item. This is a relatively new trick. No, I think he just gave up. Yeah, if Space Rock gets nothing here, though, on the 300, he will reset and grab the Fire Shield earrings. And there we go. But that's, I think, useful information for him to have right now.
Yeah. I don't remember. Did we get a? Oh wait, we get a Fletch hit. Upper Scallops Baron.
No, you still get a Fledge hit because always hints generate before
Yeah.
Baron hints. But yes, Fledge is Baron. I mean, we could still have some kind of weird bottle path for Oriel and Pero's crystals.
I was more wondering about the money because the only things that you need to have money for are Beetle Shop and stamina potions.
True. But yeah, no need for stamina potions. I realized Space Rock did not do fence hop and go into Lake Floria, did he?
Nope.
I know you can't get a lot there, but we do tend to see runners do it so they can get some information. Our friendly tracker developer, RoboJumper, hoping for Slingshot Path. I mean, J-Dude, that's totally fair. Was that...
Alright, so bet 40 is Blue Rippy.
Yeah. Yeah, and our runners are going to be down to not a lot of checks left. Basically, they're going to be left logically with 2 checks in Thunderhead and the first check in Linear Mines, and...
I mean, only 1 logical check in Thunderhead.
Oh, you're right.
Because you need digging mitts for logic, but that's again a very ignorable part of logic. Yeah, both of our runners, just looking on their personal trackers, they both have 4 locations accessible right now.
I mean, it's the same 4 at this point. They've done exactly the same things. I'm just trying to think about what the 4 are.
We have the one in Mines. We have Pero's gift. And then...
Thunderhead. 1 check.
And then Thunderhead.
Yeah, Sledgen having a little trouble here getting onto the fence. But gets it after a few tries. Okay, yeah, Space Rock chaining, talking to Oriel with going down to Mines for the first time. Yeah, Space Rock is going to be able to get another check out of Logic here, probably. But we have 1 check that is Claw Shot locked.
I think that's a red rupee, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a red rupee. And looks like the other chest that we can access is pinging.
Yeah, and okay, so the chest that is locked behind bombs or Hook Beetle, pinged here in Mines.
Ooh, that is a good item to get right there.
Yes.
And that's another good item to get right there.
So that is our likely path to Molder.
2 really great items.
Although hard to know for sure. Yeah, those claw shots are very useful for Sledgen, especially in Farron, where they now are going to let him almost full clear Farron Woods, because he can climb the Great Tree. Yeah, and That bomb bag is logically gives access to the end of mines until the Nehru Desert. We'll have to keep an eye on where Water Dragon's scale is for the claw shots.
And there's digging mitts. Now we have the rest of Elden unlocked.
Yep. Still could be slingshot.
Yeah, looks like in your case, Golden, a Lanero start definitely would have paid off.
Yeah, I feel vindicated right now. Not that this is about me at all.
And there is a bow, which is still out of logic at this point.
Yeah, I am starting to wonder if Robo Jumper is right, and that slingshot actually could be our our path item. We're gonna have to keep an eye on where the slingshots and bows are, and what locks them.
Yeah, right now we're missing Water Dragon scale for the bow.
Yeah, and having claw shots is gonna let Sledgen get a few more checks out of logic here, including we know that there's a sword behind the statue. There are like 3 checks in desert as well. I think one of the chests pinged. That is claw shot locked, if I remember. But not a lot here.
Yeah, Sojin is gonna be able to full clear mines here.
Yep.
Those claw shots.
Yeah, and because that sword is hinted, we know that can't be the path item. There can't be some weird path item with Thunderhead. Oh, and Stark has to do this. In Rando, you usually see people clear this area with a bow, but fighting these Technoblins with practice sword can be a pain.
Well, thankfully, we have got a sword.
Oh,
oh no!
Despite that path, is skipping Lanayru Mines.
That is a bold choice, and we got Harp on Space's end.
Yep.
Maybe, hear me out, maybe. Give Sledgen a little credit. Maybe he misread mines as desert for path.
Yeah, is Space Rock gonna go at least check Fire Node? I don't know if he is. I feel like you at least want to go get the save statue while you're here.
Yeah, all our runners are given all the songs except for Ballad of the Goddess for these settings. The trials are nothing useful. So that's just to get more junk out of the pool, so that way there's less bait.
Yeah. Because even though the trials don't have anything, the songs basically will douse as something and prevent locations from being barren.
And there's a hook beetle.
Yeah, so now Space Rock is going to go back to Fire Node. I think he's death warping.
Yeah.
So not going there actually did pay off. I probably still would have gone and went in and doused, but that's just me being very thorough. Yeah, I mean,
Zelda could actually be a possibility. If the bombs were pathed just for Lanayru entrance access.
yeah, but that would mean that bombs would have to lock bottles, 3 beetles. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but there's a lot that has to be logically locked behind bombs.
I mean, we're already questioning a lot of logically locked things, so what's some more silly logic?
No, you are right. Legend never went back to mines, never got that bomb bag.
Yeah, that might come back to bite him, but he's at least checking what Pero's got now.
Yeah, this is not everyone's gonna agree, but usually if you have a region hinted as a path, you want to get all the items there that you know could be something.
As they say for other randos, always full clear your wath.
Yeah.
Now we don't have wath in this game. We have sots,
or path,
or path. Yeah. So always full clear your path.
Yeah, because it's. I understand logically why Sledgen did what he did, but with how many checks you had and knowing those claw shots are out of logic, there's a good chance that there's something really useful on that first item. And this is just a thing you have to know when you go out of logic. That when you do, you kind of have to remember what's not in logic. Because we don't know how, for all we know, Water Dragon Steel could be in Boko base. And this could be really late in logic claw shots.
All right, we got Sledgen going into Thunderhead.
Yeah, he can get 3 of the 4 checks here.
I mean, he still doesn't have it's in logic, but he doesn't have his digging miss yet. But it's pinging dead anyway, so it doesn't matter. And there's a bottle. There's our first bottle.
That is bomb locked.
There's a bomb locked bottle, yep.
See, now I'm like really keeping track of everything that is either bomb locked or slingshot locked.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to figure out.
How deep does this logic go?
Yeah.
And I will say, we really don't see a fire node play this early in a seed.
No, it does usually take a few items to get to.
I found that like in a lot of these settings, like bombs are later in logic than a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think just bombs actually lock a lot less than you realize.
And we have Bugnet. Let's go.
I'm sure our friend Jasnix appreciates that.
All right, so is the race over? Did Sledgen win? He got the bomb bet. He got the Bugnet. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. So, I'm curious for your thoughts here. Would you check the first few things in LMF right now, with Hook Beetle?
Yes, absolutely. I one of my first ever SSR seeds wasted 4 hours because Gus Bellows was the first check in LMF.
Yeah, that's kind of my feeling.
I will
too,
always check LMF if it's required, and I'm in Laneru. At least the first check.
Yeah. Now, I don't think either of our runners are going to do any of these strategies, to be clear. But there are ways to clear LMF without your Gus Bellows. They are usually, I would say rarely ever worth it. Because it takes a lot of RBMs in a row. But it is theoretically something they could do here. The guide to doing all of those tricks basically says you should not do this. So I will preface that. But theoretically, we could see Space Rock do a little more here.
I mean, it is called Rates. Ooh, we got Triforce.
Yeah.
It is called Rate Spinel's Guide to Being Stupid in LMF.
Yeah, I think Space Rock realizing it's going to be faster to run out than to Death Warp with 8 hearts.
Yeah, that's the double-edged sword when it comes with Remlets. It's nice to have more health. Oh, Sujin actually went back to the mines and now has his bomb bag.
I think he had to, because all he had left in Logic was Desert.
Yeah.
So I think he knew he had to go here. Space Rock warped back instead of going to LMF. He does have a lot of checks now because he can climb Eldin.
Yeah.
And full clear Eldin, so I think he's going to do that. Which, you know, is fair. It makes sense. But I, like, because I've seen seeds where Bellows are in LMF, I probably would have done LMF.
Looks like he's just chasing that bottle to do Oriel.
Yeah, these are relatively quick checks to do.
Yeah. I will say, just as a note, that bottle is also logically required for Fire Sanctuary.
That's true, it is.
Fire Sanctuary is the only dungeon that logically requires a bottle. Unless you're talking about, like, weird bottle logic with LMF entrance, but...
Yeah, LMF could require a bottle, theoretically. But also, there's only one check you can get in LMF without Hook Beetle, so... but you are correct. You really do want to find a second bottle, though, before you try to enter Fire Sanctuary.
Yeah. Thankfully, though, this is Skyward Sword Randomizer, and bottles are everywhere.
They are until they're not.
Yeah.
The first Remlets qualifier, Ledge was hinted as having a beetle, and pretty much everyone ended up doing Fledge. That beetle was not required, but for the first like 10 minutes, I was like, am I going to have to do this with one bottle and hate myself? Fire Sanctuary with one bottle is similarly annoying, I would say, as Fledge with one bottle.
I would say I would rather do one bottle Fire Sanctuary than one bottle Fledge.
Oh, for sure.
Bottle Fledge, you gotta make a day, you gotta go back to the bazaar, you gotta buy another stamina potion, go back to Night Academy, sleep till night.
Yeah. So Space Rock actually, after all that I said, is, as it turns out, coming back. And because gonna go into LMF. I think this is very much the smart move. And that's only because, I mean, LMF is not all that's left. He has 7 checks. He could get an Eldin plus. I think that's it. That's it. Like Eldin is relatively check dense here, but first chest and LMF pings could just be a key,
or it could be Gus Bellows.
Yeah. And if that's Gus Bellows, then you can full clear the dungeon.
You know, it's a sword. Okay.
You'll still take that.
Yeah, that is still a very, very required item.
So now we are 50-50 as to whether we are Bellows locked out of the rest of the dungeon. Or it's not 50-50, but we have one more check you can get here. It either has to have Bellows or a small key in order to progress further in the dungeon.
All right, I am curious. I'm gonna pull up the LMF document and see if anybody's looking at it right now.
I'm gonna say I don't think it's very useful in these settings.
I would not anticipate it to be.
All right, so
I'm just curious.
Something locked behind the key on that side, on right side. There's something Gus Bellows locked behind the 2 Armos. There's a chest in the maze. Space Rock could get that with a bit more potentially. So we'll see what he's going to do here. Given that there's an item locked behind the Armos, I would not do any RBMs here, personally. Because you're going to have to come back with Bellows for something.
Yeah.
This is my personal take. Like, if there's genuinely nothing Bellows locked, doing this without Bellows can make sense. But there are 2 different checks that are Bellows locked, I believe.
I can confirm nobody is currently looking at the guide, so.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. They may know how to do certain tricks.
True.
But I think, yeah, I mean, I think Space Rock is trying to take some damage to do it. I think if you did not have multiple Bellows lock checks, this might be worth it. But you don't. You have 2 different Bellows lock checks. That at this point,
there's a bottle that is still bomb locked.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that isn't bomb locked.
That is, I think that's bomb locked because the mitts were bomb locked.
Oh yeah, if mitts are bomb locked,
right? Because mitts were in the bomb lock chest.
Yeah.
In mines.
Okay, we're getting our first slingshot lock checks here. And we have scale.
Well, that now puts those claw shots back in logic.
Yep.
But that is a slingshot locked scale.
That also puts the bow in logic. That's a slingshot locked bow.
Yeah. I am starting to think that slingshot might actually be our path.
That is hilarious.
Credit to RoboJumper. For pointing that out, reminding us.
That is hilarious.
Okay, so Space Rock is doing a what's called a
bit warp.
Is this a bit warp?
No, he's creating a corrupt file.
Okay. But he is doing what's called an RBM, reverse bit magic. Essentially, what you do is you have to go into back in time where you reset and soft reset within a certain time. You can play on the title screen.
There's another buff.
And that is slingshot locked still.
Yep.
So Space Rock will set a memory flag in the back in time file. If you set it after you started loading your file, you will set the flag in your main save.
Yeah.
Space Rock now is saving with that flag set and resetting the room.
And looks like that should be the one he did would be allow him to get into the Gus Bellows room from behind.
I don't know if
without the small key.
Yeah.
Which will let him get 2 checks.
But he has a small key.
He has a small key.
I want to say the chest that pinged was not in the Bellows room. It was in the room before the Bellows room. He is now going to use this corrupt file to do some more back in time stuff.
Yeah, corrupt files are interesting. It's a file that has every value set to 0, including Link's health. So immediately upon loading, Link dies. It's a very useful way to get into back in time, especially in Realmlet settings where you have so much health that dying is very slow.
Yeah. Sledgen is not checking Volcano Summit, which is interesting. I might have at least checked the chest in Volcano Summit that you can get right now. And maybe even gone and... Oh no, he doesn't have a bottle.
And there's Magma Mitts.
And those Magma Mitts are slingshot locked. Wait. No, those are bomb locked. That is not slingshot locked. But that puts Bokoblin Base into logic now.
Yeah, so honestly we could see, you know, assuming we get a beetle eventually.
Yeah.
We could just go in full clear Fire Sanctuary.
Did a bit warp. That will allow him to skip one room on the left side here. But I'm pretty sure that both chests in this room that Legend's going, or that Space Rock is going into, were dead. Which means he basically just did this. I think did this RBM for nothing. Oh no! Okay.
Also, I would like to also point out that those mitts were also mitts locked.
Oh, and those mitts were bomb locked.
Yep.
So, yeah, they were not slingshot locked, but you're right. But with what Sledgen has, he's going to be able to do most of Boko Base.
Also, I can only imagine the person that did Dig Spot RPM to get that check out of logic just to get mitts.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been actually quite useful.
You don't need slingshot to get to the vent. You just need bombs or hook beetle.
Yeah, if you have bombs, you can go up the vent. So there are multiple logical ways to get to that. There's not a single item that locked it.
Looks like the only thing useful we got from that LMF dip was whip.
Okay, hear me out.
Oh god, he's cooking.
We're gonna have Gus Bellows in Fire Sanctuary.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
Because at this point, they have logical access to get into Fire Sanctuary. That logical access is locked behind... I guess could be locked behind that bomb bag, but also that bomb bag could just be for logical entry. Because at this point, that bomb bag is locking claw shots. Both the bomb bag and slingshot locked claw shots. There's also just not a lot left in logic. I mean, we can have
Lake Floria. Like the rest of Lake Floria.
That is true, we do.
And so that's a pretty big area, and we also do now have most of Boko Base in logic. We can do all but one check in Boko Base.
Yeah, that one check did ping with something. The Bellows Lock check, I believe, if J-Dude was correct about dousing. I'm very bad at mapping where things douse in Boko Base.
Oh, don't worry, me too. And there's gonna be the magma mix for base.
I'm thinking you probably still just climb here and then come back down for Boko Base.
Yeah, honestly, if I was one of these runners, I would just do Boko Base into Volcano Summit into Fire Sanctuary.
Yeah, I'm starting to get suspicious that our Bellows could be in Fire Sanctuary. And Bellows are also potentially required to beat Fire Sanctuary.
And there's our slingshot lock bow. There's our third slingshot lock bow.
So every bow is slingshot locked.
Yep. So that slingshot was path. I think that confirms it, right? Yeah, because that scale was slingshot locked. So slingshot logic for the win.
Yeah, I have seen it happen occasionally, but it's bows and slingshots tend to be pretty rare. Slingshot especially tends to be a really rare item to logically lock things. Bow can be a little more common because bow can lock back of Earth Temple. Slingshot logic is kind of weird and different. Oh, Sledgen did not go into desert. Doesn't have that hook beetle yet.
Yeah. We have another bomb locked bottle. So I would imagine Sledgen's probably gonna go like Floria.
Yes. Yeah, and I think with what he knows, doing it forwards is fine.
Yeah, especially since he already did the back part, what he could. Yeah. The other chest did ping that he did not have access to, but...
Yeah, you will... I mean, fence hop can be marginally faster, but for some people it is easier to clear this room with the rocks going the front, and the time save is not huge either way. And at least in my experience, I have an easier time getting some of these Bomble rocks if I come in forwards. But I also think this is something nobody's really timed yet. But that center rock in particular, I find much easier to destroy if you're coming in the front way.
Also, is it me or is Sledgen's video quality kind of improved? So now I'm starting to see reds.
Are you? I guess yes.
Either that or it's just my brain just trying to fill in the details so I
No,
know what
I
it's
see a
supposed to
little
look
more
like.
red, but we might also just be used to it at this point.
Yeah. Oh, we got that chest pinging. That just barely pings, I find.
Yeah, that chest is a funny one.
And it's another bottle.
That
I think
is
that's like
another
4
bomb locked not bomb locked,
slingshot
but
lock.
slingshot locked bottle. Yeah. Before dowsing was a thing, that chest could be hinted.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Because it was considered. It's funny. It's like not that far away and not that hard to get to. But it was considered like an isolated check, so it used to be hinted.
Yeah, it's also especially before Rupee Sanity was standard.
Yeah. I thought the last Floria chest didn't ping. But
Oh, it pinged.
uh-oh.
It pinged. So, we'll have to see about that.
Yeah, we're gonna see Space Rock full clear it. Sledgen now is going into Boko Base. With his items, we'll be able to get.
And looks like we're going to Magma Turf. Not Magma Turf, Boko Base.
Yeah, he will be able to get 8 of the 9 checks here. All but the one that is Bella's locked. And we know there's a Triforce here. That was hinted.
I wonder if Sledgen has figured out that slingshot's path. And if he's still gonna be thinking about an unresolved path hint.
Yeah, I don't. It's so hard to know because I found sometimes when you're in the middle of seeds,
Yeah, you don't always think about the
path logic. Yeah, and
so it'll be interesting to see what he goes for after this. I mean, he's probably going to go to Fire Sanctuary.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, really, the only thing that could, like, even potentially be, like, path here is, like, Bellows, or, like, another beetle, for instance.
Yeah. That is a bomb or slingshot locked beetle. Yeah. Beetle logic gets even more confusing.
Well, at least now Sledgen finally has a hook beetle.
Yeah, that'll be helpful when he goes back to Desert.
Yeah.
And it will also allow him to get into LMF. But I have a sneaking suspicion that Gus Bellows are going to be locked behind something in Fire Sanctuary.
Ooh, Space, you're giving me a heart attack here.
Half a heart.
Half a heart.
Just grab one of the hearts here. Yeah. You actually don't even have to. So what Sledgen just did to blow up that rock, you don't actually even need to throw the bomb. You can set it down and grab it again. Could have Bellows and Sansi. Anyway, that, as I was saying, that Bumble Rock you can actually blow up just if you're holding a bomb. And it blows up in your hands. Yeah.
Alright, now we're gonna see that the check in Floria that Sledgen passed up.
If that's Gus Bellows,
Oh
that could
no.
be.
Nope, gratitude crystals, which could still be something because we haven't seen Bat 50 yet.
That's true. Nobody is going to go back. Yeah, Sludgeon mispinged that. I think at this point, Space Rock is going to Boko Base as well.
Yeah.
He'll probably check top of Great Tree and Farron just to full clear the region, but after that. Although, no, he didn't get Cave Ski.
I did not know you could blow up the rock like that.
Oh yeah, by throwing the bomb in the lava?
I'll make note of that for future reference.
It's one of those, like, not really a lot of time save things.
Yeah, there definitely is a rare alcove chest ping.
It's a lot rarer than it used to be before Boko Base.
Oh yeah, that was one of the chests that were just like in Volcano Summit before.
Yeah, well, all of those chests used to be in the summit layer before you finished Boko Base. Some rando history. Volcano Summit, though, like, used to have 4 checks, now has 2. Because Bokoblin Base has a few more. Let's see.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think there was only one small chest in the start of Volcano Summit.
No matter where Bellows are at this point, they're in a gross place.
Yeah.
I feel like I can say that.
And there's Bellows.
Oh! And that is bomb locked. So that bomb bag is our path for many things.
And it's also projectile lock because fire shield earrings. So, beetle or slingshot.
Yeah, we are about the 1 hour mark. So happy 1 hour, everyone. Want to thank our tracker, Cube David, who is double tracking today, really helping us out with making stream happen. And thank you, Firework.
And thank you, Golden, for free streaming.
Yeah. I hope RoboJumper is still here, because he did call that slingshot path. Oh, JD is right.
That is true. That means the Triforce, yeah.
Yeah. But our runners 100% know that's a Triforce, so they're not going to have to come for a while to get it. Like, that'll probably be something they do pretty late in the seed.
I mean, technically, they could just, have skipped the skip the fire dragon, and just gone back after getting the Velos. But
that would be so horrible, though.
Yeah, they probably don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically, yes.
That is technically a triple dip. Yeah.
Yeah. Most seeds are a double dip Boko base.
Yeah. I like weird logic seeds like this, so I'm happy we got a slingshot path. I mean, the bomb bag path is kind of conventional, but it's a path for some kind of convoluted reasons, I would say.
Yeah.
Because that
And
bomb
then-
bag locks several different things with LMF.
Yeah.
So at this point, I feel like Sledgen is a bit ahead of Space Rock. Because he's got his bellows, he's into Fire Sanctuary.
Yeah, but he's also still missing those things in Lanayru.
That's fair, but
But I will say it all depends on how long Space spends in Lanayru.
yeah.
Because there's nothing else for Space here at the moment.
Yeah, and I think I get why he's doing this. Because you don't want to do a double dip of Boko Base. But I think with what Space Rock has, Boko Base is the most check dense location. And he, other than Gust Bellows, has everything he needs to full clear Fire Sanctuary as well.
That's interesting, using the bow zoom to peek that check.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could do that. That's I'm taking notes on that.
It's always interesting, like commentating races, because you always learn something new almost every race.
Oh, for sure.
The rare quarter heart of damage taken from Cactus.
All right, I'm going to open up a bet. Because we know where 2 Triforces are. We don't know where the third is. We don't have a huge number of checks left, so I'm going to probably close this pretty quickly. Or, like, if Space Rock gets the Triforce now. But, if you want to get your bets in.
I'm gonna say bet 50.
I'm going to bet Skipper's Skydive Chest. Because Skydive Chest always seems to have something. But I am probably going to close the bet like very quickly because we are seeing new checks at a fairly rapid pace. So get your bets in quickly. Sledgen is down to 48 checks remaining. Space Rock is down to 45.
Assuming our runners are keeping accurate check.
That's fair. I think that's about right, though.
Yeah.
Because Space Rock has gotten a bunch of deserts and LMF.
Alright, so Space will get one new check here that we haven't seen yet. But more importantly, he'll be getting his bug net.
True. Oh,
and there's Triforce.
There was our third Triforce.
Close the bet, close the bet, close the bet, close the bet.
Yeah, so
dang, okay.
Now, I mean, I could open up a bet for swords, but we're missing, I think, 2 swords, so that's not as good.
Yeah, Sledgen's missing the one in LMF right now.
Yes. That is slightly bad for Sledgen, because it's going to be a little while before he goes back to Thunderhead, since it's isolated. But we could have like a sword on bat 50 that's equally kind of isolated.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's a close to last location scenario.
Something you see a lot in these settings in particular is with both Thunderhead and Petro, people tend to try and wait until you can get every check to check them, because both of them are a little out of the way they're a little slow, especially Thunderhead. So you don't want to orphan checks if you can avoid it. And this is kind of why, because like made sense for Sledgen to go to Thunderhead when he did. If it had had something, it would have been a great call. But does not. And so could be a while before he comes back. That's just the way Rando is sometimes, though.
My question is are we going to get the classic Fire Sortuary?
Yes. That is a very good question. I don't remember what was hinted. Did we get Bombable Wall or... Bombable Wall is not hintable, but did we get second Magma hint?
I don't remember.
I mean, right now... I feel like...
And there's sword.
Yeah, I'm not going to set up a bet for the final sword. Because I feel like we're relatively low on locations.
Well, for the record, mine would probably be on Plats. That'd be my bet.
I still think we're going to have a sword in Sansi somewhere. Because there's not, like... I mean, it could be something like crystals are keeping it from being barren. Or, like, a bottle. But there's not a lot of those left.
I think we're only down to one bottle left.
Maybe two. I forget if we've seen...
I think Sledgen has 4.
Okay.
Space has 4 marked on his tracker.
Oh. Sledgen missing the elevator ride up from Magmanos.
Yeah, Magmanos can be annoying to deal with.
Especially in this room. You get kind of weird things where you think you hit the cycle with the first one. And then it just knocks you... It, instead of lifting you up, is like right behind the platform. Okay, second Magma was hinted dead.
Thank you, Cube.
Yeah, much appreciated. So we'll just have to see now about if the chest behind the Bumble Wall pinged. And I'm not necessarily surprised by this, but we are not seeing Sledgen do any bit in Fire Sanctuary. I think because it's not go mode, and you kind of need to check everything anyway. Oh, Space Rock did not double check this douse. So he's also getting pulled down to this chest, which has junk. You have to be really careful with dousing things here in Boko Base, because these two chests from the bottom can be pretty indistinguishable.
Well, at least he feels like a celebrity. Which is the flavor text for the Silver Rupee.
Oh, I did not even realize that. All right, so no, that's not potentially sword locked.
There's our boss key.
And I guess this chest did ping with something. If Sledgen is going here.
Yeah. Honestly, at this point, wouldn't be surprised if it's just gratitude crystal bait.
Yeah, could also be a sword.
Because we have seen we saw a lot of grassy crystals at the beginning, and now they've really kind of slowed down.
Yeah, well, we've gotten 6 of the 9 pack, so we do have a lot.
Like I said, I think we've seen 7 because Sledgen picked up 1 in Fire Sanctuary.
Okay. Oh, and
Yeah,
didn't get that pack in
didn't get the
Floria.
pack in Floria.
We're not going to save this magma today.
I think you have to, don't? Well, no, you have to pretty much do almost anything, everything anyway. Just don't.
Yeah, but
pull
you
the
won't pull
lever.
the switch down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sledgen trying to remember which switch you have to hit first. This is, I'm gonna say, trickier than people sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Order of operations definitely is hard to remember here. Especially when the orientation of the puzzle depends on the angle of which you enter the dig spot.
Oh my god, yeah, that's the thing I always forget about. This is not like a hard puzzle, but because you're oriented in different ways, you tend to forget.
One of my pet peeves about magma mitts is like one of the key features that they tell you about in the tutorial for using the magma mitts is largely underused, and that is they say if you Z target while underground, you can see what's above you, but only like 2 or 3 dig spots actually implement that.
I mean, to be fair, it's because they're in one of the last dungeons. There's that part of Skykeep where you use them like that. We always kind of forget about Skykeep in Rando for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
The
Skykeep.
Fire Sanctuary room in Skykeep, you do actually use the mitts like that as well.
See, it's been so long. I always remember just doing the divine clip in the Fire Sanctuary room.
Oh no, sorry, not the. It's one of the other rooms, not the Fire Sanctuary room. Maybe it's the Earth Temple room.
Oh, Sledgen's deciding to save the magma anyway. What a nice guy, Sledgen.
Oh, Space Rock is going back into Boko Base instead of just. Okay. Oh, you have to save the Boko to leave the room. Did not realize that.
Yeah, that is true.
The last time I did this, I had to save him, so was not really an issue. Now we'll see if there's anything on the vanilla boss key chest or under the staircase. We'll save Sledgen some time if neither of those have an item. Yeah, it looks like they are dead, so the only thing that's left is Platt's chest. And this really is a Fire Sanctuary layout where back in time, I don't think would have been a huge time save.
It probably would have lost you time if you did bit, because everything was in the front half.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because even doing the bit warp to get the chest behind the Bomba wall wouldn't have saved you time because you would have ended up in a dead back half.
Yeah, you would have to go through front half anyway to get the boss key.
And the sword.
And sword, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like this is one of the things about Bit is situationally it can be really useful, but there are definitely times when it's just not a huge time save. Like, I mean, we saw Space Rock do the back in time in LMF, and like maybe it's gonna save him a little time marginally, but
Oh, and Plat's chest is dead. There goes my bet.
yeah. Okay. So the chest atop the bird's nest is dead. Zaysok really, he's doing Betro. Like, he really wants to be able to go mode Fire Sanctuary.
Yeah, which is understandable.
It is, but
No
the
one
boss
likes
key,
full clearing Fire Sanctuary.
yeah. But in this case, the boss key and the sword are in chests that you can't RBM.
Yeah.
In front half. Yeah, we're just looking for one sword now. Interestingly, Sledgen has not picked up any of the Triforces. Just Sledgen did not get the one, hasn't been to Desert yet.
And that is a Betro Baron blocked by Gratitude Crystals.
That always feels bad. This is maybe my hottest take with these settings. I think it would have been fine having Bat 50 with 0 crystal start. But I don't mind crystals.
I will agree with you there. Or like at least 40 with 0 start.
It also, I mean, if you play these settings enough, we get a lot of seeds where the reason Betro isn't Baron is crystals. And that can happen no matter what, but I feel like if Betro has more checks, it is less likely to have that type of scenario. But it's impossible for that to work for Baron hints because it just would require really complicated logic. There's some conversation about this in an OTR.
Looks like Space is going back to LMF.
Yeah, this makes sense. He can, with what he did, he's gonna be able to get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry, we were talking about this this came up in one of the OTR races today, because there was a song that was a Baron blocker, but it was pretty much established that song locked nothing, and I think it's very difficult to make the hint logic account for situations like that. And
there's bottle percent. Let's go.
Yeah, so not a lot of junk pings left. We've got the Mighty Scatter Shot, 1 Gratitude Crystal pack, and that might be it.
And also a beetle.
Yes. So actually a decent chance that this is a sword here in LMF. Which would be pretty good for Space Rock, I think. Because I have a feeling Sledgen has to full clear Desert no matter what. Or at least clear parts of it. Sledgen is probably going to want to go mode LMF.
That Staltra is getting very friendly with Space.
Yeah. Not attacking him, though. Despite being very friendly.
I don't think they can attack at that close range because that interferes with the path.
Oh, interesting.
Enemy AI can be weird sometimes.
Yeah. I was gonna say the enemy AI in this game especially is a little wonky.
It's always funny when bokoblins just ignore you when you're 2 feet away from them.
Because the thing about like most regular enemies are very patient. They attack you pretty slowly. As kind of a way to account for, oh, that's right. Space Rock doused that. We knew where that last gratitude crystals were.
Oh.
I forgot he used White Sword dowsing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, anyway, a lot of the regular enemies are very patient. They attack you pretty slowly. They have kind of weird conditions with how they attack you. Because the game, like, people complain about the motion controls, but the game is actually pretty kind with you. I would say.
Yeah, giving you opportunity to take your time and adjust your stance.
Yeah. Outside of a couple bosses, the game is pretty kind and lenient.
And also the fact that the game starts you off with 6 hearts, which is double what a standard Zelda game would do.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will, from like a game design perspective, they understood these controls are going to be a little weird, and we need to account for that. Did this chest ping? Yes, it did. I think I was the one who taught Space Rock that backflip over the spikes. I want to say I was in his stream and I told him.
And there's our last sword.
All right, well, Space Rock then will be in go mode with Fire Sanctuary. I think Space Rock's going to be ahead.
Unless Sledgen is painfully aware of every check he skipped.
Yeah. Yeah, because last sword is Fire Sanctuary. So once Space Rock, I mean, I think Space Rock might do back half first, because he does tend to do that. Boss key chest was on, I want to say, first Magma.
Yeah, boss key is the Magma check.
So you actually only have to do front half in Fire Sanctuary.
Yes, technically, if you wanted to save a little time, you could do the back in time interaction to unlock the statue at the end of Fire Sanctuary.
It's such a minor time save, though.
Yeah. So Sledgen's missing the Triforce. Well, he's missing all the Triforces, but we know where 2 are.
We know where all 3 are.
Well, yeah, but Sledgen knows where 2 are. I'm assuming. At least, no, 1.
Legend knows where 1 is.
Knows where 1
He's
is.
gonna get 1 here.
Oh,
but does not know about the one in Thunderhead.
Yeah, so, and then, did he ever get the sword in Mines?
Yes. He got it the first time he was there.
Right.
But he's still missing another sword.
I'm trying to remember what swords he is missing.
Oh, the one in LMF. There were 2 in LMF. One was in the first chest, one was in the Armos chest. It's been a while, so we both forgot about that first sword.
Yeah.
It's really that Thunderhead Triforce that could trip him up.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's going to be a while till he goes back there. That could trip up a lot of people.
I know it was lightning node that had the Triforce, not fire node.
Oh, okay. I couldn't keep track of which one, and I probably could, but it's been an
We've had a
hour.
lot to
I
keep
forgot.
track of today. Once
Yeah,
again,
so
shouts
Space
to
Rock
you
is
for
probably
check.
15-20 minutes away from finishing. Maybe less, depending on how fast he goes through.
Well, Sludgeon's gonna go and get his quick beetle.
Oh yeah, getting baited slightly.
I mean, this is his first trip to Linear Desert, so I can't say I blame him.
Oh, where was the scatter shot? Was that on LMF? Oh, yeah. Cube David pointing out, Sansi is not required.
Oh
Sledgen is
no!
probably going to get pulled into Sansi.
That's
And our
yeah.
bear walker in Sansi is either Tough Beetle.
Or tough beetle. I think
That's it. Yeah.
that's gotta be it.
Yep. That's the only item left because we've seen 5 bottles, 9 crystal packs, all 3 bows, both slingshots. Oh, that's a rough one.
That's evil, and he from his perspective, I would definitely prioritize Sansi over my last check in Thunderhead.
Yeah, I probably would too here. The only reason, if he's pieced together what he's missing, he could say, I'm going to check Thunderhead before I get baited in. But I don't think he will. Yeah, Space Rock is dousing to try and figure out, does he have to do front half of LMF? He better almost missed the train there. I do think this means Space Rock is going to do front half, though.
And there is Sledgen's first Triforce piece.
Yep.
Now that I'm thinking about that whip also is like not required in LMF at all. So really all he needs is the boss key and the 2 swords.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
it is still a piece of the Triforce. There's 3 pieces: one of wisdom, one of courage, one of power.
Yeah. It's 3 pieces instead of 8 broken shards.
Yeah.
Although the shards are actually of 1 piece of the Triforce.
Yeah.
Right? It is. There are technically 10 pieces of the Triforce in Wind Waker.
That is true.
2 of them are fully intact.
And there is the first sword for Sledgen in LMF.
Yeah, and this is, I mean,
At this point, it's just going to be a matter of how fast Sledgen can get through LMF and then go get his last Triforce piece.
Yeah, this is like, it's not a super slow layout, but if you don't do the bellows block RBM, you are going to go through the right side. That first room on the right side is a little slow. If you don't do the bit warp, you're going to go through the left side. Like you, with this layout without bit, you are going to do a lot of the dungeon. And so it's a question of what Sledgen wants to do. Yeah, he knows now that's one of the chests in the bellows room. Can piece together that's Armo's chest and nothing in the first room on the left side. But he is going to go through the vanilla way here. Instead of doing the RBM and the bit warp. And like, you know what? I'm going to mea culpa. When Stace Rock did those RBMs in LMF, I was like, this doesn't make a lot of sense. But they are saving him time. So I was wrong about that.
Oh, it looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of a brick slide in here.
Yeah.
This is a lot harder than it looks.
Anytime you have to double break slide, tends to be trickier than you think. Like, I'm okay at a single break slide. I'm not great at it. You will very often see me just buy a stamina potion. But any place you have to double break slide, it is tricky. Because it's not necessarily like the most precise inputs, but in a room like this, you have to avoid targeting an enemy, and you just have to realize when you have to start running after the first one, so you don't sink in the sand. I don't know. Break slides are useful, worth learning. Probably not super necessary in these settings, but I'm a person that kind of safety buys a stamina potion if I think I might need it. So I'm not the one to listen to.
And there is the last sword, and yep, that does officially put facing go mode.
Yeah, so he's probably like, I would guess somewhere like 8 minutes away. 8 to 10. He's got to fight the Magmanos.
And just get to the end.
Fight G2, and then get to Sealed Grounds. It's probably like 8 to 10. So it'll be around a 145 finish. So far, nobody's finished in the race room.
I would imagine that someone's probably close.
Yeah, it's hard to know. With how this seed is going, this is not... Even though Sansi was not required, I think because of the item layout, I would not call this like a jet seed for SSR, for Remnants. Yeah. This is a pretty like standard Remlet seed with a little bit of kind of weird gross logic.
Yeah.
The Boko base triple dip. I'm really like preemptively kind of feeling for Sledgen here. Because one, he's gonna feel like he has to do right side of LMF, and is just gonna get a useless whip out of it. And two is probably gonna go to Sansi.
You can only hope.
Yeah, the problem is if you were in Sledgen's position, you would go to Sansi.
I would totally go to Sansi. Yeah. Because like I'm already in Lanayru. I already have everything, especially getting that whip in the Bellows room. Being a full clear as possible without any backing time.
And you know the tough beetle is going to be on the worst check in Sansi, which is the skydive chest in Skipper's Retreat. Like, just because that's the way that Rando is sometimes. So
Rando can definitely be cruel.
Yeah. Can you do this with a bomb throw?
Yep, you can.
Okay. Yeah, see, I usually just do the hook beetle. Pick up the bomb with the hook beetle. If I can.
Yeah, I want to say, as far as bomb throws go, that one is probably one of the most difficult.
It definitely seems more difficult than like the getting to Earth Temple backwards.
Yeah. Because the boxes are just so much higher.
Yeah, it is. It's probably a more precise throw than a lot of the other bomb throws. Like as far as they go, the easiest bomb throw is the one I was talking about in Boko Base, where you don't actually have to throw the bomb at all. You can just set it down and hold it over your head and blow up the rock. So we're going to see Space Rock now head over to Sealed Grounds and finish out the seed. If you've not watched these settings for this Remlets tournament, you will see when Space Rock gets there, the Horde fight to get down to where Girahim 3 is removed from these settings. It can be a fairly tricky fight, especially with not a lot of hearts. I think that's a fair way to characterize it.
Yeah, Horde can definitely be unforgiving, and if you're not practicing it, you could easily lose 10, 15 minutes to Horde.
Yeah. It's slightly easier now that we have heart spawns.
Yeah, and just more health overall, but even still.
Yeah. Esme adding in heart spawns, even on hero mode, with hero mode stuff, was a very huge quality of life improvement for the randomizer. And Sledgen, yeah, you probably want to go out the normal way. Realizing that now.
I mean, you can't go out any other way unless he warps out.
Yeah. But I think was just not sure about what to do and trying to do some other things. And welcome in Raiders from ZSR2. You are just in time for the end of this Skyward Sword weekly race. We're about to see our first finisher on Restream in a couple minutes. Space Rock is entering the final boss fight. Sledgen on the left is searching for 2 more Triforces and a sword that's in this dungeon.
Yeah,
so it's a little further away.
What was CSR2 up to? I forget.
Was an OTR. It was Ocarina Season 7 race.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah, they are in, I think, round 2 of the bracket stage.
I used to say Skyward Sword's a little different from Ocarina of Time.
Only a little.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and so far, Space Rock. Oh, I was gonna say clean phase 1 of Girahim, but messed up with the purple hands, and is now having to knock Girahim all the way over. The shield really helps with the Girahim fight. I mean, I know you're an any percent runner, so you probably don't use the shield.
In a rando setting, I will definitely use a shield.
Yeah.
Just for that little extra safety.
And there's our first finisher, Skinny G17, who is not on Restream with a 143.15. So we're going to have some pretty close finishers here. Because Space Rock is probably 2 to 3 minutes out from finishing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else is pretty close as well. Yeah, and
I believe also Scandy is also like one of the newcomers for Gremlins.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can say Sledgen also is one of them.
Yeah,
Space Rock has been here a little longer, but didn't participate in season 2.
So getting first place like that in one of these weekly races is definitely something to be proud of. I want to say.
Yeah. And that was a pretty clean phase 2 for Space Rock, or phase 3 for Girahim for Space Rock, and now we'll see the Demise fight, which Demise fight is how Demise responds is very predictable. So it's a little tricky, but there are pretty scripted ways to kill Demise relatively quickly.
Yeah,
they take some learning, but
Demise pretty much breaks down into 2 categories: those who know how to deal with it and those who are still learning.
I'm in between, I would say. But yeah,
and we have Oni finished as well.
Yeah, that's going to be within
seconds,
a minute of Space Rock. The thing I'll say about Demise, this second phase is the much harder one, because if you miss the quick kill, it can be brutal.
But did not miss the quick kill, and we have a finish.
Yeah, GG's to Space Rock.
GG's.
I'll see if he wants to come in for an interview. Sorry if you can hear my keyboard. I'm sure you can.
You're fine.
I have a loud mechanical keyboard.
It gives a little of that keyboard ASMR.
Yeah, so Space Rock is going to come in for an interview. For the Raiders who just came in, so we saw Sledgen got a Triforce, or did not get a Triforce, got his last sword here in LMF. Knows where one Triforce is because it was hinted in Bokoblin base, but does not know where the final Triforce is. So let me pull Space Rock in.
Welcome in, Space.
GG.
GG's.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So before we get into like specific questions, what did you think of the seed?
Well, it was a little scattered. Bella's location was kind of terrible. It was very hard to route. I know I made some pretty glaring mistakes. Desert routing comes to mind, but in general, it was a tough one to route. So
I think what you did in desert, I think it worked out for you and was more efficient.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I felt like your routing.
I would say it was not good. like it may not have been the ideal routing if you knew where everything was, but it worked out.
I guess so. Yeah. When I went to, I don't know why I went to Secret Passageway first instead of Lightning Node. I thought it'd be best to do Lightning Node, Secret Passage, and then, Fire Node. But then I was like, maybe I should go to Secret Passage first in case I can enter LMF after Lightning Node, but like then I got Hook Beetle and I went to Fire Node and then I forgot I didn't have Claw Shots, so it was just a slow Death Warp and yeah. But
Yeah.
it was a tough one.
Yeah, this was a kind of weird seed, I think, to route because you had stuff like the triple dip, Boko base. So here's some fun little logic. Did you figure out what that Boko base path was?
Oh no, I didn't actually. It was
It was the slingshot on Platts.
oh,
that
it
slingshot
had to have been.
that slingshot locked. I mean, not the bomb bag, but it locked most of your projectiles, if not all of them.
Right.
And it locked your
Right,
ability
right,
to
right.
climb Elden to get your magma mix.
That's so true. Yeah, Platt's paths are really weird. Everyone always thinks of Boko base paths as like something in like Boko base itself, but you know, Platt's is like yeah, wow, that's something you couldn't have seen very early into the seed.
Yeah, Robo Jumper in chat. I'm gonna give him credit. He did figure
Yeah.
that out. And we were not thinking about it, but yeah, he
That's really
got
cool.
it very quickly. Like 10 minutes into the seed was like that slingshot could be path to climb Elden, and it took an hour for us to confirm, but he was right about that.
Wow. It did cross my mind that it could be Platt's, but like it's only happened like once or twice for me ever. So I didn't, especially when I got the slingshot, I just didn't pay much mind
Yeah,
to
I
it.
mean, sometimes the path is like very glaring. Cause I know a couple of times where Boko Base's path and it's like claw shots or something on Platts.
Right, that's obvious.
But slingshot is definitely one of the least things that you would expect to be path.
I think it's
No,
probably the
definitely.
least likely item in the game.
And then
In these settings to
bombs
be
were
able to
path to
go.
Moldarak for the nonsensical reasons of the bellows being very deep in logic.
Yeah. That might have also been your logical entrance to desert, but I'm less sure about that.
The slingshot or
The bomb bag.
oh, I believe it was. Yeah.
'Cause I think it locked like bottles. I think it potentially
Yeah.
locked Hook Beetle and Quick Beetle.
And lock both
I think
mitts.
I only found 3 beetles, but I think one was in Secret Passage, one was
We're pretty
Almost
sure the
Tier 0.
last one is in Sandsea somewhere.
right. it has
We're
to
like
be.
100% sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't
we
hinted
may-
Baron, and we pretty much found every other bait item.
I am curious, did anybody or I guess did Sledgen do Fence Hop by any chance or early Floria?
Yes, Legend
Oh, he
did
did,
do
okay.
early Floria. But I honestly
Yeah.
feel like that ended up being to his detriment. Because he spent a lot of time out of logic and not really getting much for it.
Yeah, I think it was one of those where it's the thing you always have to be careful about when you're out of
Yeah.
logic is you don't know what that's locking because you don't know where the item that locks it is. And it turned out that
So-
claw shots, I mean, they did lock stuff in Boko base, but like in desert, they were pretty useless. He didn't go. Sledgen ended up doing mines into caves and took like kind of a circuitous route to get to
Oh,
the
I
bomb
see.
bag.
Yeah. Speaking of Sledgen, on Restream he just got his second Triforce, the one in Boko base, and now it's either Sandsea or going to Thunderhead to get the one check he left. Looks like he's going
He
to
is going to
Thunderhead.
Thunderhead. Okay.
Yeah, Sledgen did do an early dip in Thunderhead when he just had Longsword, so he was not able to get the last check, which, as we know, is the last Triforce.
Right. So Triforces were Thunderhead, Boko Base, and where?
LMF.
Lightning Node.
Oh, no, lightning node. I'm thinking of the sword.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and there were 3 swords in dungeons. They're actually
Right.
there's actually a lot in your dungeons, but
Yeah.
not progress items so much as like go mode.
I have had a few swords on what's it called? Spike Maze. So I figured a sword in LMF wasn't that unlikely. And as for FS, it was kind of just a coin flip. I was just gonna pray that Sansi was dead.
Yeah.
And like I was willing to, try to clear a little bit of overworld that I had left before FS, but I wouldn't go as far as to do all of Sansi just in the effort. Like go moding FS is not even that. Like odds are you're gonna almost full clear looking for boss key anyway. So
yeah, I know you went into Fire Sanctuary and you were pinging so much you almost missed jumping off.
Yeah. I do that.
I assume you were trying to figure out, can I skip to back half?
Yeah, I was trying to decide whether early back half was worth it, and it didn't seem like it. I know boss key chest wasn't pinging. I wasn't sure about staircase.
It had nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, back half would have been. You would have gotten some junk item on the Bumble Wall check.
Yeah, that would have not
doing the
been
bit
good.
more. And we see Sledgen is in sealed grounds now, so he's going to finish up in a few minutes. So we'll bring him in for an interview as well, if he wants to come in.
I'm good to end my stream, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You got your hash on there, so you're all good.
Yeah. I'll switch the audio over to Sledgen. Yeah, and Sledgen.
Just realized I did not have audio on throughout the entire race.
Oh, so you didn't get to hear. I know Space Rock was really hoping for Skyview.
Yeah.
Because he has put some custom music in, but the viewers got to hear your custom music. I figured it's a little different from the usual SSR.
I've been working very hard on it.
I am aware. Custom music is something I want to do, but I have other things I want to do before that. So
it's kind of fun. I find myself working on it when I should be practicing actual runs instead. It's very addicting.
Have you done any of the qualifiers yet?
No, I was putting them off. I will do the one this Thursday.
Okay.
I did async the one yesterday, though, just for fun.
Got it. So, yeah, we mentioned this at the top of the stream. We'll mention again. We are currently in qualifiers for a kind of beginner-focused tournament called Remlets. It's our kind of equivalent of Scrubs or Mini Blins. The info is pinned in the chat if you want to find more info. There are 4 more live qualifiers, plus there are 2 async qualifiers you can do. I've done 1 live one and 1 async, so I'm going to be part of it. Firework, are you doing qualifiers or are you focused on any percent?
I'm doing qualifiers and any percent.
Yeah. Wanted to make sure we shouted out the tournament. Sledgen has been learning any percent recently. So he's doing a lot of shieldless any percent techniques for Girahim and Demise. See the stun lock.
Yeah. For G3 phase 1, I would use shield. After that, I probably would stop using shield.
Yeah, he's using the shield here in phase 3, which is faster too. Slightly faster. But taking it off for Demise. So should be finished in the next 60 to 90 seconds. Yeah, I said this before. The shield in Skyward Sword is an incredibly useful tool, especially for the end game. I did not know that when I played casually, and it made it very hard to defeat Demise.
Yeah. I love my shield for endgame.
Yeah, you don't need it, any percent runners play the game without a shield, but it makes things easier.
Gets you through some hard times, and that will be GG for Sludgeon.
Yeah, we'll see if Sludgeon wants to come in for an interview. It's a 157.58.
Nice. Both of our runners on Restream finishing under 2 hours.
Yeah. This is probably on like the slightly longer end for a Remlets race, but not overly so. And that is our final runner finishing up. Ray Storm Thunder. 20 seconds after Sledgen. It's a very close race.
Very close.
And I'm going to pull Sledgen in for the interview. Hey, Sledgen, GG's. It looks like you're getting your mic set up, so.
Sledgen, you sound very much like Demise. Your Demise impression is great, I will say.
POV Demise joins the VC.
Does this work?
Yes,
Yeah.
that works.
Okay.
There we go.
But yeah, GG's. That did not go well for me at all.
I mean, it could have gone worse. You could have gone to Sansi.
Yes, that is true.
Sure.
I really wanted to skip Sansi, and I'm glad I was able to
Me
do
too.
that.
We
I
were
made
a little
some really
worried.
bad decisions. And I played pretty badly for a big part of that, but you know, it definitely could have gone worse. Yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on just the seed itself and like where things were?
I did not like the seed.
Yeah, the seed
I
definitely
wasn't a fan.
had a
You're
little bit
not
of a mean
wrong.
streak going.
Yeah. The highlights for me were getting claw shots out of logic, which was nice, and skipping Sansi.
Golden asked us of space, and now I'm gonna ask you. Did you figure out the magma turf, the Boko base path?
Kinda, but I was
What do you
also
think it-
focusing on playing. So, kinda. I knew that it would probably be a good idea to dip it without bellows. And a lot of the items that I got pointed towards Boko base, but I still wanted to check Floria first, just in case.
Yeah. The path was the slingshot that you got from Platts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that locked all the rest of all your bows.
Oh, yeah. It did.
And it also
You
locked.
couldn't logically climb Eldon to get to anything up there,
Wow.
which
That
included,
was a
which
pattern,
included
right.
your scale and your claw shots.
Yeah. When I'm not playing, I think I can usually figure out path hints, but when I'm playing, I'm so focused on the game
Yeah,
that I
we were
don't
talking
really
about that earlier as well.
think
Like
about
when
it.
you're in the moment, you're not really thinking about the big picture logic.
Yeah, and I'm someone who like focuses a lot on the one thing that they're doing. So yeah. Very interesting path hint though.
Yeah, we were saying like slingshot is pretty rare to be a path hint, just because it doesn't lock a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
I watched the seed. Oh, you know what? I'm actually gonna. So, it's interesting you say that the claw shots were really useful.
I mean, it was nice, but in the end, it didn't actually do that much for me to get them out of logic.
That's what I was gonna say. Was I think
Yeah.
you spent a little time chasing claw shot locked things,
Yeah.
like the bomb bag that was sitting there in mines. You could have gotten a few minutes earlier.
Yeah, I mispinged mines and thought that the statue chest was the only one that was pinging. Which, at the time I pinged it, I didn't have bombs or hook beetle. So I didn't realize that first time shift stone was pinging until basically every single check I had but that was claw shot locked. So I basically
Oh,
last
no.
locationed it. but I did have claw shots at the time, so I did make sure to not do desert beforehand though, because I did want more items to do the desert checks with. So yeah, again, could have gone worse.
Yeah. I mean, we said this. I think this is a kind of weird, tough seed.
Yeah, also shoutouts
mhm.
to Petro being Baron blocked by a single gratitude crystal pack.
Yes, that was funny.
I even double
Yeah,
dipped
you-
Metro because I
Me too.
don't know. I was scrounging for items in the beginning, and I thought the 2 early packs I got might have meant something, but no.
Same. I only had like 11 checks accessible at that point, which is, I would say, on the rarer side. So I was like, you know what? I don't like dipping Betrow. Same thing with Boko Base. I don't like dipping these areas, but if it looks like I should, then I probably will.
Yeah, I mean, I said this early on in the seed that I personally would have gone to mines very early, and it seemed like you both were kind of afraid to go there, even though it was a handed path location.
Yeah, that was because of the statue chest,
Yeah.
and I hate having to skip out on that check like so much.
Me too.
Yeah,
Um,
I get that.
Yeah, and it's just like, what are the odds that that one chest is bombs? You know?
Yeah.
Although
Surely not.
when that location is when you get a Boko or a mine's path, I actually feel like it's a pretty high chance that that's your path item. But that could be confirmation bias.
No, yeah, I think you have a point.
I have no opinion on that,
It's
but
tough.
I've had... I guess it is more unlikely for the path to be on the statue chest, but yeah.
I was just afraid of it because last night I played a seed that had double Mine's Path, 2 Coloctos. Literally the 2 hints were Mine Coloctos and Mine Coloctos. And just, it wasn't the statue, but it was the first claw shot lock chest and the ending chest. And so I had to like double or triple dip, and it was just not fun. So
hmm
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah,
that's
I think
yeah.
makes sense that me and Ray finished very close to each other and down the rankings in the seed because we both enjoy rooting for an efficient full clear. But in this seed, I didn't follow that routing philosophy very well.
It was hard
yeah.
to do that in your defense.
Yeah,
It was a tough seed.
Yeah,
to
this seed
efficiently
was
fulfill.
all over the place.
it was very blah. Yeah, of all the seeds, I didn't want this one to be a full clear. So I'm glad.
Well,
I'm glad it
on-
wasn't.
on the bright side, this was not a qualifier.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is just a race for fun. We still got
Yeah.
plenty of qualifiers to go for Remnants.
Yeah, I like how both of our qualifiers so far have had faster dungeons, and then the weekly we have after that is just a Fungin seed.
Yeah, that was definitely some dungeons for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying the dungeons were pretty stacked this seed, like 3 swords in the dungeons.
Yep, Fire Sword Truri.
Well, this time
Same.
it was Lanayru Sword Facility or something.
Yeah, because I think the first chest was the sword, right? And Spike.
Yeah, the
Needles.
first chest was
Yeah.
sword, and
Yeah.
Spike Maze was
Yeah.
TMS for me.
Oh, my TMS was FS.
Ah,
yeah, you guys did reverse dungeon orders from each other.
yeah. I do like chaining Boko Base with Fire Sanctuary, since they're like right after each other. So yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all the questions I have as well. So GG's to both our runners. Want to thank our tracker, Cube David, again, and Firework for commentating with me. There's nothing else on any of the ZSR channels tonight, but there will probably be some more OTR S7 races this week. There's some Zelda 2 Randomizer random percent tournament. And we'll have the next SSR Weekly on Saturday afternoon. So stay tuned, and thanks everyone for watching. We're going to go raid Mirai, who is restreaming one of the Zelda 2 races from earlier in this week. I hope everyone has a good Sunday night.